I was born in Brooklyn 73 years ago. I went to high school at Brooklyn Tech and then subsequently went to Rensselaer for my bachelor's in electrical engineering. And then I went to City College at night for a master's in business administration, which I never completed because I didn't do my thesis. I did that while I was working for IBM. I started as a systems engineer and eventually went into marketing, management, and then left and joined a company called Graphic Scanning. The guy who led Graphic Scanning, his name was Barry Ample, was a brilliant guy. Barry made a conscious decision to file for every one of the top 120 markets. So the first 30 were the largest 30. Graphic Scanning was the only company that filed for all 30 markets, and it was a brilliant move. I was still running 3 divisions of the company. I joined the team that worked on the cellular side in late 82, early 83. At the same time, at night, we were putting together the applications for all the markets. It was about that time that I joined and started to work among various parties to see how we might settle the market. And the reason that we, graphic people, wanted to settle the market was because there was a side issue. A group of paging companies had filed a lawsuit of FCC rule violations against Graphic Scanning in the way in which it had filed for the low-band applications in radio paging. With that hanging over our heads, the likelihood of our winning applications was slim. I had had some relationship with some of the people in the industry up until that point. Essentially what happened was I became involved in a relationship with a range of people. We sort of figured out that it would benefit everybody if we could settle markets. So it was a group of us, maybe 5 or 6 of us, that worked this out to compromise in every way. One of the reasons that we as a group, the 6 or 7 of us, were successful was because we had the trust of a lot of people. You're talking 300 to 400 different people, different players. And we had the trust of those people in negotiating the settlement process that we had, because they believed in us and they believed we could get it done. What happened with Graphic was a bunch of arbitrageurs came in and started buying up Graphic stock and attempted to oust Barry Ample, and they were successful. But they settled, and out of that settlement, I became chief operating officer and I sat on the board of Graphic Scanning. They wanted to sell off all the assets, and I said that's a mistake. They terminated me. I sold my stock at about $8 a share. They eventually sold the entire company to Bell South for $5.25 a share. In the spring of 1990, somebody gave me the idea that I should go to the former Soviet Union. The wall had just come down in November of '89. They said, you know, they're in need of a whole bunch of services. Over the course of 10 years, we developed services which included cable television services, radio paging services. Of course, that went by the boards when cellular became available. But we also built 2 massive country cellular systems, one in Latvia and one in Georgia. In 1979, AT&T hired Lehman Brothers to do a study. The sum and substance of that study was that Lehman Brothers felt and reported to AT&T that they never thought that more than 1% of the population would ever use mobile phones. I knew in my heart, based upon discussions I had with a whole bunch of people, more than 10 to 20% of the population was eventually going to have this kind of service. I knew it in my heart of hearts. The last 25 years have been an absolute blast.